Confessions of a Single Guy, discussing enemies and frenemies and how they relate to men versus women. I think it's really fascinating the way women think about the social constructs with friendships and enemies is entirely different than the way men look at it. We as men, if we find a man that we don't like, we seek to make sure they're not part of our lives. We just remove them. We don't think about them. We try not to be a part of their lives. Women is a very different process. For women, it's not just about the women that they like, they're close gal pals, but they will befriend people that they don't like and make them a part of their lives and use that. And I think what's interesting is there's a social utility that women get from having these frenemies that I don't think men really see or get. So there's like a simplistic nature to that. And I think it's really interesting when you think about, men with men. Either you like a man or you don't, and that's kind of it. And we're defined. We'll ignore the people that we don't like. We'll spend time with the people that we do. Women, it's entirely more complicated. They will hang out with the women they do like. But then even the women they don't like, they might have at social events and they might spend some limited amount of time with, which is incredibly strange to most guys. Like, why would you be with someone you don't like? And then there's just these social elements that kind of come into play that drive women's goals. And so when you think about the fact that we both look at enemies or people that we don't like differently, it becomes entirely even more complicated when you think about relationships men have with women they don't like and relationships women have with men they don't like. And those could be for any number of reasons. You could be forced based on, a sister-in-law or brother-in-law or a friend of a friend that you have to spend time with. And how these different relationships interplay and how people approach them is pretty fascinating because, we as men are pretty flat-footed when it comes to thinking about the strategic aspect of having a woman in our life that we don't really like. Whereas women can be incredibly strategic about it. And they will focus on making sure that they can maximize the relationship to their advantage. And so there's just a strategic element that I think women offer, that women think about, that men just don't. And kind of explore that, in detail in kind of the following parts of the podcast. But I do think that it's one of the more unique things that I've seen in just watching different relationships.